Hello everyone, this is Val from Value Craft Studio. Welcome to my channel. Whether you're a new viewer or a subscriber, thank you so much for joining me today. This is the 5th video in a series where we make a French Provincial journal from start to finish. In the first video we chose our papers and collated the signatures. In the second video we made the cover. In the third video we made some of the pockets and added them into the journal. In the fourth video we made this faux glassine bag, a flip out, 2 pockets from one window face envelope, and some other pockets for inside and some scrap paper pockets. I've lost my plot. Now in our last video we didn't quite finish off the flip, and what we left undone was this page here, where we put the flip in, and I could not decide what to do on the reverse side of the major part of the flip out. So we've got a little pocket on that one, a little pocket on that one. But when you open this one, we didn't have anything on the back, and I wanted to fix that. So all I've done here is cut a piece of music paper, and I've folded it over. I just want a bit more stability to that top layer there, so I'm just going to fold that up and then fold these, and hopefully I haven't got any glue on the center of the page from gluing this piece here, but I don't think so. So having done that, I'm going to affix it to here, but I've also got a couple of little scraps here that I thought I would use to decorate on this. So one could go across there and be a bit of a tuck spot as well, or just a trim, just a bit of decoration for a trim, and nothing to do with being a tuck spot. So I think I've got enough pockets and so forth in here. So on this occasion I'm just going to ink that up and stick it on as a decoration, and that's all it's going to be. It might be decorated further. Let's have a look what it looks like with this. How is everybody today? If you're Australian and you're from Queensland, I hope you're still not impacted with Cyclone Alfred. He was quite nasty to a lot of people still without power, including my brother who lives in Ipswich, and yeah, some other family who live in Queensland as well. So I know some of my group members in Value Craft Studio from Queensland, so if you guys are watching this, I have been thinking of you. It's been pretty horrible, the amount of rain that's fallen there. People without power and internet for days and days. But hopefully it's starting to come good now. I hope it's all getting a bit better for you. That's not quite straight. We had a bit of rain, but not as much as we would have liked, so there you go. Okay, so that's going to be what goes there. Now, I made a masterboard yesterday actually, and there's a video on how I did it, and I chopped these up, and although I was aiming for a blue look, they actually look quite good in this, because this journal actually does have tinges of blue, so I think these are going to look quite good added to this journal, particularly ones, say like that one, you know, it's got lots of pink in it. So yeah, that was quite a fun thing to do, and do have a look if you have some time to spare. Right, so I might leave that one there. That one looks alright. It's got an Eiffel Tower on it and a little bit of a lace and a bit of a dangly thing. So that was all we had to finish in that one. So we'll put that aside now. What we're going to be working on today is we're going to make, not that, that's part of the stuff that I just made yesterday with my masterboard. We're going to make this double belly band. So we have got a tuck spot behind there and a tuck spot behind, because it's a belly band, so it'll be only done top and bottom, and then you've got those 2 slides. We could decorate it further down the bottom. I think a cute little pocket down there with something tiny, some little tickets in there would look good, so we might do that when we make the one now, but just this prototype, I just left it the basic one there. We are also going to make this little, oops, sorry, I just knocked over the big bite, frightened everybody. So this little flip down envelope, I like these, and I use these as kind of like a tuck spot too. So I'll put that on, I'll just attach that on the sides, I think, so I can actually go right through if we're up the right way. And with this, I've anchored it just with that little stamp there, and when you open this and fold it down, there's writing paper inside. So we'll be making one of those, and we'll also be making this little sweet little envelope, which is just made with book page, and there's nothing in it as yet, but just lined with the pretty papers and tied with a piece of lace. And on the back side I put a postcard. We're also going to make this little tag pad, which is just a little bit of extra writing paper as well, and there's lots of little bits of paper in there to write on. So it's just a little mini notepad in the shape of the tag. And I just made a simple little closure there, which we can do various things with. So we're going to make all of those things and also decorating a couple of other pockets. So without any further waffling, let's get on to it. I've tried to put aside the things that I will need for each project so that it saves a little bit of time. So this is going to be the back of our belly band, and I'm just going to do it like this, so it's try and get it as straight as possible. And it is currently too long, but I'm not worried about that. And I just want this to be well fixed, so a bit of glue on there. Very simple on this one. I started off on the simplest one. Where is my bone folder? Have I lost it again? Yep, looks like. So I thought I had everything ready, and here we go. We're already, oh, I see it there. I'll try to be a bit more organised. I'm learning to be organised, so I'm not spending time in the video trying to work out how to do things. Now, I think I worked out that this piece of paper, which I just cut off one of the panels that we did, it's only slightly smaller, than the actual page. So let's give it a bit of an ink up. And just back to the cyclone for a minute, it seems to me that we're having more and more, bad weather events than we ever used to have. There was a time, in my opinion, where, I used to think we were really were the lucky country because we just didn't have the weather events of, other countries. And I felt really blessed to be living, I still do feel blessed to be living in Australia, but it seems to me we are now having a little bit more major weather events than ever before. So now I know I want this to be just a little bit of the top and bottom on this one, so I'm going to do that first. Just a little bit of glue, top and bottom, not that bit. And I just want a little bit of clearance and fairly central to stick that one down. And then of course I need to cut here about the same as at the top, and hopefully I can do that without doing my usual very crooked thing, and I think that should work nicely. So now I'm not quite sure where I wanted to put this. I think the first signature still needed some things put in it. It's got that, I've got to put a tag back in there, but let's just do that one for now. I probably took it out for some other reason. I'm going to put that there, that looks right. But I do go through and check all my pockets have tags in them at a later stage. So could do that one, could do that one. We've got that there. But I think this belly band would look alright here. I'm going to do it on this page. Just make sure this page is the right way up for this purpose, and it is. So now we're just going to give that a little bit of glue at top and bottom and stick it onto our page about central. Oh, that was clever, wasn't it? I've made it too long. That's alright, it's not something that can't be fixed. I've just got to trim that off a bit more. That page must be smaller than the one I looked at. What do you think? I'm going to have to change it because the glue wouldn't be in the right place now. Could have checked that before I glued it, couldn't I? Clever person would have. But I don't profess to always be clever. How are we going? Nearly right. Yeah. No matter how I try to be organised and have it all done, I still kind of, I don't know, have things happen. I don't mind. I think it's why I love junk journaling, because even if you do something like I just did and it's not quite right, it's often very fixable. So there you go. That looks very pretty, I think. Now, I'm also thinking we might do what I said and put a little pocket on the bottom here, and I found some things and I chucked them up here. Yeah. And, yeah, they may not still be there. I could make a little pocket out of that, couldn't I? And have that sitting off. I think that might look good. I think I'm liking the look of that. That was a bit of an accident because I wasn't really planning to do that, but I think I will do, I'm going to just do across the bottom and up this side and just put that like that. Didn't glue there, did I? No. And I'm going to put, if I can find one, I found the little things I was looking for now, of course I did. So I was looking for some of these that might have made a nice little pocket, and I've got those. It's not the right colour scheme, but it's kind of what I'm looking for, just as a little pretties on there. None of them work for me. None of them do. What have I got here? I've got that. I've got that. I've got that. No, nothing yet's making me happy. I think something like that might work, or one of the little stamps. There's a stamp. I see a stamp right there. I've got that round one, and I've got that little stamp. I'm very happy with these stamps in this kit, so I think I'm going to do that one. I'm going to just do a stamp, and he's going to be, again, a different angle. I think he goes that way. I want him about straight. So, oops, go back where you were. Oh dear. I don't want to have to make this video over again, but I do tell you something, I'm quite tired today. So with that, you've got a little tuck spot there behind. Quite a good size tuck there. Could have one of those cute little envelopes. No, cute little tags. And we've got some tucks here for various things. I want to show you this. I made this too. Look at that as a bookmark, and I just did a bit of cutout with one of my punches on the bottom. So that might be included in this as well. What do we got here? Just some of these little French chickens, I think they look good here. Could have put a bit of lace on the bottom of this one too. I don't want the little bird. I think I'll just put a couple of those in there. And I wanted to find something to slide in here. I think we still have some of those postcards left, so let's try one of those in the back and in the front one for the moment until I find something. No, that won't, that's too wide. That's one of the little tags I was thinking about for there. And I've also got these, which are like little file folder things. I sometimes use these for pockets, but at this point in time, I think I'm just going to make it something a little insert for this belly band. So I'm liking that. I think that looks good. However, I do think I should have put a bit of lace on it, and I might still do that. I'll just put a bit of lace at the bottom there. So I've got my little bucket of tricks here. So we can have a bit of this lace might look good. I should have put it underneath that chicket, really. What do I just want to... I don't know. I think it's too big now because it should be trapped underneath, and it isn't. So I think I'm just going to put it down there. Just because I think it needs something. I'll make it look like it is trapped underneath under the stamp. There we go. Just a little bit of softness to that belly band. So there you go. That's our double layer belly band. I'll put that one aside to dry properly. And next up to make is the envelope with paper to fold down. So this is it. This is pretty simple. You don't need too many bits and pieces for this one. And this piece of paper will probably do the job very nicely. Obviously I've got to cut off the white around the outside. I don't want those. I usually trim this with the guillotine. And it's possibly too wide. You want it to fit on your page. So that's the criteria. It can't be wider than the page of. Other than that, you can have it as big as you want. So our page is, I think we're going to put it in the third signature. So let's pick a page to put it on. I think I'll put it on either the front or the back of this middle section. It doesn't really matter which one. I'll do it this one. So we're going to put it on here. So we need to make sure it's going to fit nicely on this page. So yes, it's too wide. We want to take off, I think we'll take off 1 inch. Yeah, about 1 inch. But I'm going to do that on the guillotine because I'm not going to worry about, or paper trimmer would work as well. I'm just going to put the going to do it with the guillotine. So that made it about 5 inches wide, so that could work. So okay, so that's a page we're going to put it on, so I'm going to put that aside for a minute. Now we're also going to need some papers for in here, so let's just I want to make 3 out of it, so that means making that much narrower. No, I don't want to do that then. I do want it to be, look, we don't need many pieces of paper in there for you to see the idea that I'm talking about. I would normally put more. Yeah. Alright, so this is really simple. Pick which one looks the prettiest. Do we like that one where it comes straight to the flowers underneath? I think so. I need to look at my prototype again, guys. I've lost the plot. This is what we're trying to do here. So obviously we need this to come down about the same distance, not quite so much as that. It doesn't really matter. It's not that critical here. This is not that critical. Being square is critical though. And then yeah, see, look at that. That's terrible. I'm using scrap paper in my defence. I'm using the scraps of paper left over, everything else that we've done. And so obviously there's going to be things that don't quite go how I might want them to be. And I want to round the corners of that because that's our envelope flap. This is not being happy. Let me just quickly empty it. See if that helps. It'd be good. So that just rounds those a little bit there. So that's our flap. And then we just fold this up, not all the way. We want it to have a certain depth to it, so maybe that would do. So there we go, there's our envelope basically. It's not too bad, not too bad. A little bit wonky. You know, that's a beauty. We're making handmade stuff, guys. That's what I say all the time. We are making handmade stuff. Now, across the flap, I want to put a bit of lace. So I'm just going to put some of this across there. So we'll stick that on next. And I want to see those beautiful roses below it. So I'm just going to go that little bit higher than I planned when I put that glue down. So I'll just do another line of glue up the top there. Rightio. So, and of course then we're just going to put a stamp there on a bit of an angle somehow. Doesn't matter how you do it, but only glue it a bit so that it can hold that, the flap when you close it down. So what we have to do now is give it a bit of inking and also stick in the papers, the fold down papers. Now I have made a mistake with this because I can feel from the weight of this is probably only copy paper, and I'll actually need this to be something a bit heavier, not cardstock, but perhaps a 120 GSM, which is what I use for my digital. When I print the digitals, I print on 120 GSM. And I think that this is going to be too flimsy an envelope. But we will continue so you can see what it is that we do. Even though we'll probably put the other one in the journal, not this one, because this is just not quite strong enough. And I want to cut that paper down about there. Now I would normally have several pieces of paper for in here, and I would then just glue them to each other. In fact, I will get at least one more. Do you think? Yeah, have I got some handy? I mean, obviously, if I was doing, say, another piece of paper and it was the same size, I'd just glue that in there and then glue that in there. I'm going to show you because no point. Oh, no, I've got the left. I haven't got any of that paper left. That's very annoying, isn't it? So I'm going to try this one instead. See if we can do this one. It won't be the same length, but I don't think that would matter. You could put different papers in here without a drama. I just want them to be the same width. I'm just going to do like this and cut that off on that line there. And do I want that one on the outside and then the white paper underneath? I think I'll try it like that. Yeah, just like that. So I'm going to glue this paper to this paper. And then I'm going to glue this one into place inside. I sometimes staple these, but this prototype I just tried gluing and it worked really, really well. So there you go, we've got that. And then you have to fold this up so it is inside the envelope. I didn't ink that very well. And as I said, this is not strong enough paper. Bit of a boo-boo there, but anyway, never mind. So there we go. Now the other thing I like to do on here, I have got a stamp floating around somewhere. Actually, I've got a couple of them. I've got this little corner one, which I like. So I might just put just a corner one there. And let's do it on that one as well. No, let's do it the other side. That will be cute. So there you go, just a little bit of stamping on those. Then when we bring this up, all we need to do is to our stamp, and we're just going to have the stamp just get it the right way up first. I think it goes like that. So you can have it on a bit of an angle, or you can have it straight. It's probably got a bit more strength if you do it straight. And I just do about half the stamp with glue, and then just put that down, and then take away your envelope so you can't accidentally. It's not quite in the middle, is it? No, it's not. That's roughly middle. And then that will just go behind there. And there you go, that one's finished. And I like these. I like to add, little extra writing places that, that you don't expect to see where they are. You don't expect to see them. Needs a bit of a good fold now because of the thickness of that extra paper that's inside. So, yeah, so there we go. There is our little envelope with extra writing space. That's number 2. Now, we're not going to glue that one in. We're going to glue in instead the prototype I made, which is here. It's, you just see with the stronger paper, it just looks so much better. And what we're going to do here is just stick it on the sides, so something be like a belly band. So you could just make it a tuck spot, but I actually like it to be the belly band. So we just put this here like so, and then one of those nice big tags that I made. What will I have? Maybe that one. That one's a nice big long one that can just go right through there. So there you go, we'll put that one aside to dry. The next one we had to do was the next style of envelope, and again I've got the things I need. It's pretty simple. You just need music paper, the paper that you're going to use to line the flap and the under here, and a bit of lace to tie it. I haven't got insert for that yet, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Let's see if I can manage to do this correctly. So again, I've got to cut off the white. Next time I buy a printer, I'm going to make sure that it can print borderless. Because sometimes I'm happy with the size that my printer does it, but I want to have the choice of doing the full sheet if I want to. So right, didn't really need to do this because that's not really the focus of the envelope. It doesn't matter. So here we go. We want this piece to be. It's got to be. That's not the piece we need. We don't know. No, that's not what we need for this one. I'll have to find another sheet of music paper. Easy done. And I want this to be 7 inches by 7 inches. So I'm going to go and cut that. Okay, we have 7 inches by 7 inch square, right? So we need to find the centre, and the easiest and quickest way to do that and mark the centre is to actually put a little mark. You could do pencil and rub it out afterwards, but I can't find my pencils. So I'm just going to go sort of like, I think it's about there, so I'm just going to say there somewhere. That pen's not working. And then do that the other way as well. So that means that where they intersect, that's the centre. So I'm going to bring in the sides to that point and into that one as well. Get those right there at that point. And then I'm going to bring down one of those to the same spot. That's actually our flap, so we will round that. And then this one comes up and we're going to bring that up a little bit higher. We want to make sure that's square. So if that's where they go, then that would be okay. Right, so that's that. And we're going to fold this tip down. Like so. In fact, we'll glue that down right now. Right, okay. So that's our basic envelope. Okay, that needs to come down a fraction more. Let me just bring that down a fraction more so it covers that. That didn't quite work as well as it could have, but anyway, there's our envelope, and that's our flap. All right. So we're going to do the inking all around that. So that's basics of doing an envelope by hand. You start with a square. Now it doesn't have to be 7. If you want a tiny one, you could make it 3 inches or whatever. I haven't really tried that little, but I'm sure the principle would work with any size. And I wanted that to come down a bit further, which is a bit of a shame. I've got a crease there where I didn't want the crease, but I will be covering that up anyway with the little panel that I'm going to hopefully successfully cut to fit. That would be nice. That would be beautiful. Right, that's not too bad. So now I'm going to glue this. So I just want to glue this flap here, but not right in the middle. I'm just going to go a little bit in there because it's got a gap in the middle. You see there? So I didn't want to glue there. So hopefully I've just glued around those edges. And there we go. That's that part. Right. Now we want to cut a piece that will fit in here like so. So that's really an easy one to do. I want that to be from there across to there, and I'm just going to cut that piece off. Hope that worked out nicely. Except I can't see where I marked. Is that it there? No. Yes, it was. It was indeed. You could do this with a paper trimmer or whatever you have. Honestly, you could. But I have a guillotine, which I find is more efficient for me than struggling to make my paper trimmer cut where I want it to. Though I can't really say I'm having too much with this punch at the minute. I'm buying a new one. I am going to buy a new one. Now, I don't think I inked this last time. I think I just left it to blend into the other paper. Just giving it a tiny little bit. So I'm just going to stick that on there like that. Okay? So that just embellishes that a little bit. You know what, you could put lace and anything on this too. You could embellish this to your heart's content. I've kept it pretty basic really on this, honestly. So that was all I did there to get that shape in that inset piece. Right, and the next one I did even easier. So with the other one, I just cut a piece of paper the right size. So I need to take a little bit off that and a little bit off that. I'm just going to hack this a bit. Just hack it up a bit. Hopefully I didn't hack it the wrong way. Because I want it to sit in there. No, it still doesn't slide in there. Good heavens to Murgatroyd, whoever she is. Right, I just want to do this, put this in here, and then just draw that shape. Rightio. So now it is going to go on the outside here like that. I cut too much off the bottom. Of course I did, but that's alright. We'll just cover that up with some lace. We want it to be straight though. Right, so it's going to be like that. And over here, that's rather bizarre because I've messed this up really majorly, Rachel. That's not correct. That's not right. I didn't cut the piece right to begin with. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm going to keep on working with this bit and see if I can salvage it. So I'm taking more off this side as well. I'm just going to try and make that one a peak as well and see if that works. And if not, we might start with another piece of paper. How's that look? That's better. Okay. Okay, so that will do. I think I must have measured the paper I was working with a bit more successfully when I did the first one. So anyway, so I'm putting that on there, and I now need some lace to go across the bottom, and I've got this bit here, so I'm going to stick that on there just to cover the fact that I messed that up. Just to there. And you won't really notice that I've got too big of a lip at the bottom, which is not what I really wanted. Oh, I think I had that piece of lace there because I need another piece of lace on the bottom of one of the other pages just to make that a little bit, you know, more, oops, oh no, I don't want you down too far because I've got to put a tie around here. I just want it to go across there. Not quite sure whether or not sticking too well, guys. It is fabric glue. Alright, that's the basic of our envelope. And you see, it doesn't really matter that I had that double fold up the top where I misaligned it, because in the end, because I put that panel over the top, it actually disguised that. And then all I did other than that was just put a piece of, bring a piece of pretty ribbon. I had white on the other, which I think looked better, and just tie a bit of a bow on this. I'll put the other one in the journal as well, not this one, just because it's got the white lace and was perhaps a little bit more uniform in what I did with it. So that's pretty much all you do. So obviously we can do a better job of that. I don't think we're going to mess about with that. You can see the principle. You saw it with the other one, which is here, and this is the one I'm going to put in an envelope. Now, that's what I did. So yes. So with this one, you would trap the lace under the postcard at the back, which I seem to have misplaced. But let's say you used a shape like any of these, you could just cut a piece to fit the back, and that would trap down the lace. I didn't make it a pocket because you've got the lace there to worry about. You could also trap it down under a pretty flower like so. You know, that would look good too. Just trap it under that. But this one's not actually as successful as the other one, so it may end up in the second one of these journals I'm doing, but it's not going in this one, so I'm not worried about finishing that one off. You see the gist of what I do. And we're actually going to put this one, which was worked out perfectly. Of course it did, because I did that off camera, and it worked out really beautifully. And when I drew on camera, it didn't. It wasn't horrible. I mean, I still managed to show you how I did it, but it just didn't work as good. And I think the narrower, the white lace, just a softer look is better. I'm not going to make that a pocket. I'm going to put that in a pocket of some description, and I don't know which one yet, but let's have a look. I don't know, we might put it even behind there. Right. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to make, did I show you this tag notebook? We're going to make that next. So that's what's up next. And I've got the stuff I need for that one here. Put aside all those scraps. I should have done that the other way around, so it's not the perfect one. We'll see if this one turns out more perfect. And we'll pick which one looks the best to go into our journal. So with this one, basically, we need 2 tags. And this time I'm going to make sure I put this one on the front and that one on the back. And if they need to be adjusted, just cut down a little bit to size. Well, we'll do that at the end. But for the moment, we'll just ink up our 2 tags. White inking inside as well. I hope you realise how very brave it is of me to let all of my mistakes that I'm making in these videos just go through and not start over, which is, I never used to finish off a video because I was never happy. I wanted perfect. And if I made a mistake, I would just start again, and I never ever got a perfect one. So I'm trying very much now to not be that person. So I'm trying to just accept that, you know, mistakes are going to happen and just move on. Unless it's a total disaster, just let it go. Just let it go through. So now I want a hinge here. So I've made this hinge out of a quite thick cardstock because I want it to be strong, because it's kind of like the spine of our little tag notebook. So yeah, keep that because that's a good little one. And we want the bone folder here. Now with this, I've put the pretty, which I want to be showing on the spine, on the inside. So I'm going to glue that one there like that, and that one there like that. So that's how it's going to be. So let's do that now. So that one is going like that. And that one is going like that. Okay, and there's our little tag booklet, and with that pretty spine in the middle. And the next thing we have to do is to cut some paper to go in it. So I've got a couple of pieces of cardstock here, no sorry, white paper here, and I think I decided I wanted them to be about, I worked it out the size that I wanted, and it's about 5 3/4 inches square. Okay, so that's really nice, light little paper. You could use copy dyed paper here, would be good as well, but I've got this one I want to use so I used it. So they're about 5 3/4 inches square, and if I just fold all those, I could fold them together I think. They're just going to be our little mini signature inside of our tag. If they fit, and if they need a trim, that's fine too. So they're just going to go in there, like that. So that was just, you could cut them just whatever size your tag is. Whatever size your tag is, no problem. So, there we go. Now obviously we have to cut our little tabs at the top. And there we go, we've got that. That must be slightly, yes. Okie doke. So now we are going to just, I usually use a clip when I'm sewing in so it doesn't move around too much. Just going to get a little bit of waxed thread here. Don't need too much of it. I don't think. I think that's enough. Look how big that needle hole is, and I still can't find it. No, it's once it frays, you've got no luck at all. So I'll just try the other end. It's the end of a busy day here. I've had a big day. I had visitors for morning tea, and it's the day for shopping because I had visitors coming. So I cleaned the house and did all the gardens and went shopping. Posted off some happy mails. There we go, finally got it, so sorry about that. Yeah, so now we're just going to sew this in here. I'm not really going to measure it, but I'm going to try and find somewhere about the middle and go through there. And then come back in, just going to maybe say about 1 inch above that. And come back in there. Oh, it doesn't want to. It says no. I often will poke the hole with my pokey tool first, and I'm not doing that, so it's not too bad. And then again come back out again about 1 inch. It's not rocket science, just something that works. And then back in that hole in the centre. Make sure you've got your needle, your thread coming in the other side. So what you have then is, it still didn't work. So you want your centre thread to be trapped between these two. I'm sure some of you know that already, but just in case you don't. And then I'm just going to tie that there with a double knot. Now I could tie a bow, I could put some danglies on it, but I don't want to confuse the issue with the dangly on the string on the outside, so I'm just going to cut it short. Right, so there we go. And there is our little toe booklet. So I actually want it to stay closed. Maybe we could trim there on that side. That's all right. I want it to stay closed. So what I did on this prototype thing, I just made one of these little things here. And I'll keep this piece of nice cardstock for this purpose. And I'm just going to cut out a couple of little circles from this. This is just my 1 inch punch. Is it 1 inch? I think it is. Does it tell me what size it is? No. That's all right. So, and then sometimes I'll do 3 of these, but I'm just doing 2 for this purpose. And I'll just glue them together so it's got a bit of oomph to it. And if you wanted this to be pretty instead, you could just use some of the cardstock from the kit and make it, you know, pink and blue or something like that. But I just wanted to do this as the contrast kind of thing. And now I just want to put a very little hole in this. In the middle would be good. Let me put my needle back in the cotton before I lose it. So I want this to be the centre. So this is where I'm a bit challenged with this, finding the centre of this circle. But I think it's about there. And we'll try for that. And I'm just putting the smallest hole of the big bite in that centre. Let's see how I did. I think it's off centre again. See, look, how can that happen? I just did that, and look at that, where the hole is. Look where the hole is. It's not the centre. I'll do another one. Try one more. It's very annoying. I did do 2 then, but I did 3 actually, because the second one disappeared under the desk. I'm not grovelling around down there at the minute. So hopefully, now if this one doesn't work either, we are taking one of them to show you this technique, even if I haven't shown you a perfect example. You could just put a hole in it with your pokey tool, and it might be easy to find. In fact, I might do that. Will I? No, I'll use this. I'll try again. I'll try again. I will try again. And I'm going to make a bigger hole in the middle. Except that's the pen that doesn't work. And I'm going to throw that in the bin right now so I don't keep trying to use a pen that does not work. Now that's supposed to be correct. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a bit better. Now I've already got a tiny little brad here. This really cute little one, and I put it in a plastic bag so I wouldn't lose it before I needed it. See how cute, how little it is? I don't like them too bulky when you're doing this. So now I need there to be a hole in this as well to put that on. It's a bit sad about where its location is, but that's alright, I can live with that. And I'm just going to make a hole with a pin or a needle or something. Pokey tool would be good, but I don't have it handy. And I'm just going to put this little brad in there. Maybe should have moved it a bit further in. Oh no, that's not too bad. So that's just going to be like that. Now I sometimes will put washi tape over this because I don't want it to catch on things. And I found the best way to separate it is to turn it one way first, and then you can pick it up to go the other way. Otherwise it's really hard to get them apart. And having said that, it won't come apart, but there it goes, there it goes. So there you go. So you can either like just cut another little circle of, you know, something and just put that over the top, or just put a strip of washi tape. But I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And then we want another piece. I'm just going to use the wax thread because I can't find very much else at the minute. And I don't know how much we want. I'm just going to do about, I don't know, 12 inches perhaps. And I'm just going to wrap it around there a couple of times and tie a little bow if I have given myself enough. You don't actually have to, but it does come undone otherwise. I could have left that tail longer to make it a bit easier for myself. So yeah, just tie a double knot, I do, to anchor that wax thread underneath there, and then chop that off. And then this can just be wrapped around once like that, or you can wrap it around, you can have it longer and wrap it around many times if you want to. So you can go around a couple of times, and then, yes, I haven't left it long enough for that. Alright, you see the gist. I should have left it longer, but look, it ties just like that. And it would be cute to add some beads on this. You know, I could put some beads on the end of that for a bit of a dangle. Got plenty of beads and charms, so I might do that before I finish with this. But that's just a tag to go in one of the pockets, and I think that works out really cute. You could put some stamping on the pages inside too, if you wanted to. So yeah, we got, what other stamp did we have? We got this one, here we go. Let's do this. There, got a little butterfly. And you could just do this other one, which is the little flowers on the corner. So, you know, you can just decorate it a bit. You could put some different papers in here. They don't have to all be they don't have to all be plain papers. You could put, you know, like you would in a little journal, you could put all sorts of papers in there. So I think that's a cute one. I should have made that string longer. I could cut it off and do it again, but it does close the tag. It's just not as long as it could have wrapped around a few times, and would have looked a little bit nice, I think, if it had been wrapped around 2 or 3 times. So those are our little special make projects, but what we're going to do now is we're going to get our journal back, because I want to put some pockets in the front cover and the back cover. So we're doing that. That's probably the last step to do to the cover before we sew it up. So I've got some bits and pieces here to do this, and I think this front one, I'm going to just do this postcard, then this triangle over the top of that, and that's my little a note from the bookmaker, which I usually put in the front cover. So it will go in this pocket once I've done it, and I don't know what they were for, but never mind. And in the back I'm simply going to stick in one of the postcards from the digital kit. So the back pocket's pretty simple, just sticking in a postcard. It could have some lace, it could have some other stuff stuck on it, but it's just really basically just the postcard. But as I said, I could put lace and I could put a die cut and chizzy that one up a bit too. Now this one, do I want a thummy in it or not? I think no. So where did my blending tool go? It's right there looking at me. So we're going to have that, and we're going to have this. So it'll be like a double layered pocket here. This one is just a scrap from cutting out stuff for pockets and stuff in other occasions. So we're going to just simply do this one on the sides and the bottom. A little bit off centre because I've got the other pocket to come over to the side. So I'm just doing it a little bit more towards the right. And then this one's going to come over the top. And be like so. It doesn't really have to line up with the bottom, but I have made it line up with the bottom at the moment. So my note from the bookmaker is just going to go in that pocket there at the back, and then we'll just find some little doodads to put in the front one. We've got those little French documents. Now they're not part of the kit, I'm sorry to say, but there's lots of little bits and pieces from the kit that could go in there. You could put some of these little circles. I haven't used them. How did I manage to do that to myself? I haven't used them much in this digital kit, though sometimes I do, but they can be just little inserts in those kind of things, just bits and pieces of stuff. No, that will go in there too. It doesn't really matter. Just some bits and pieces to fill up that pocket, and we would maybe put a tag at the back with that note from the bookmaker as well. That one sort of goes nice. I'm liking the tags that I made from the plasterboard, liking them a lot. I might eventually change this because I don't like. Oh, no, that was the one that was longer, wasn't it? I think we're going to use the new one we made, not the one I had already, because I like the fact the girl's on the front of this one, even though the string's not quite long enough. It works, and we might just tuck that in there. Rightio. We've also got a couple of pages throughout our journal that need a bit of work on them. I've got a few more tags we have got a few more places to put pockets too. Now this one had the flip in here, I think is where it was. So this is the centre signature, so let's start with our, that's the last signature, and this is the first signature. So let's just work through them a little bit and just see if there's anything glaringly not filled enough with pockets. So I like to have some pages that don't have pockets on them because, you know, the object of the exercise here is to write in your journal. So that's that belly band we just did, which was quite busy. Yeah, so, and then we've got a pocket here that doesn't have anything in it. So we've got a few tags and things left, but some of the ones are from my new collection from doing the masterboards. So I'm just putting them there for now. They may not stay. This one's just, that's a nice one to maybe go in there, so that can just go behind that paper clip. Doesn't matter that the lace is over top, like so. Right, yeah. So I'm just looking to see if I need more pockets really. So that was our altered paper clip up the top. We probably need something else that gives a bit of, we get these laces coming up the top and laces and ribbons, but I think we need some more things up the top. So we might do another altered paper clip before we're done here. We've got that little envelope there at the back of that one. I don't know, I'm thinking we've got a reasonable amount of pockets really. We've got our triple flip there with that pocket behind. And we've got a double one here. Got to find something to put in there. Just Breathe might look alright in the bottom. And I'll have to round up. We'll probably go through this one more time in the next video anyway, so I'm not really worried. I've got that little card that I made. Just put something there for the moment. But I think the pockets are not too bad. We could put more, you know, but I often sometimes leave the journal with some stuff to be done by the person who buys it. You know, they want to be able to decorate some of it in their own style. So I don't necessarily finish it right off. I like to leave some stuff for them to do. But I'm thinking we could do something here on this one. So there's a few pages in a row there without a pocket. And this is just one of the ones from the digital kit. So I'm just going to stick this on. But I did want to have another page with the lace hanging down at the bottom. So we're going to do that to this one at least. At least. There might be more that we do to this little pocket. Stay straight if you wouldn't mind. Right, okay. Now I think I used a bit of lace I had ready to go, and is that enough? I think that's enough. I think that will be fine. And so we're just going to put that lace across the bottom there. Yep. And I want it to hang down a bit, so I don't want that to be too high, like I just did the glue. I want it to hang down about that much. So there we go with that. But I do want something, I want some pretties across the bottom there as well. Let's have a look, what have we got? I think it needs something. Do you think it needs a flower as well? Yep. So I'm going to make this flower also be a tuck spot, so it's only going to be glued on the bottom. And I think I'll have it going that way like that. With that. Okay, so I'm just going to do the bottom half of that flower with the glue. So that's going to be another little tuck spot there, and it's going to be like that. Right. So then we've got a little tuck with some French ephemeral or something like that. And we've got a pocket. We've got to be careful there because that got a bit of glue on there for a tag to go in. So there you go. That mightn't be what goes there. That mightn't be what goes there, but it gives the idea of what that page will be like. So that's that one finished. That's the middle signature. Now the very last signature, let's have a look. We've got a pocket there. We'll do something with this. I'm not quite sure yet what we'll do with the music paper. I'll come back to that in the next journal. Sorry, next video, I mean. And we might do something with that page, stenciling or another pocket. Could add some more pockets still. I'll just need to think about what I want to add. Yeah, so we've got that nice one there where that created a belly band, and we've got the paper inside. So that gives you extra writing paper. A couple of pockets there on that one. Sorry, tags in that one. And yeah, we put our little notebook that we made in there, and put the paper clip that had held the top of that on the side instead to hold it in that fold. And then we've got this beautiful one at the back that's got no tag in that one. What do we have? That's quite pretty. Will it fit? It's a nice flat pocket. It doesn't want to let anything go in there. does, but it won't close then. Oh, I need something shorter. All right, that didn't work. It's not important. We will find something to go in there later. Now, that looks all right. That looks all right. That one's not too bad. As I said, I've got a little tuck spot there for something to go in there. But I think we might do some of those finishing touches in the next video. And in the next video, we will do sewing in the signature as well. That will be the 6th video, and I think that will probably be the last one in this series. This journal will be finished. So just a few little finishing touches, sewing it in, and making sure all the pockets have tags. That's the next video coming up. Thank you so much for being with me today. See you soon. Bye now.